Robin has something very different from the other Straw Hats. She took a long time to find meaning in her life. Sometimes that happens, you just got lost until you find a reason, a meaning to live. She lived until 28 years old, being pursued, betrayed, accused, everywhere she went, every second, to the point where she could no longer sleep at night for the fear of not waking up the next day. Nico Robin was the only survivor of the greatest attack, heritage, and knowledge in the world, which became known as the tragedy of Ohara. From that day onward, she forever abandoned her mother, her only friend, her dreams, and especially her childhood. She began to survive, not to live. And one day, when everything bad that could have happened, she began to be sought after by the most powerful entity of all, the world government. Just at 8 years old, considered by the world as a demon, according to Hobby Luxi, her mere existence was a crime. And what it is life to live carrying this burden, to be crushed daily just by the weight of existing, having no one to trust and no friends to share a secret, her very existence being a curse, accusing her of destroying the only place she considered her home, and thus becoming the weaver to the world. The bigger difference between her and the rest of the gang, the Straw Hat, is that she didn't just suffer during her childhood. Robin suffered through her life. When she joined Crocodile, she still suffered. When she joined the Straw Hat, she still suffered. Not her past that is the saddest thing, it's her whole life. Her mere existence that is a crime. There, simply, come a time when everything was dark, but deep inside, it still saw light. Just needed the right people for her world to be light up again. Nico Robin is a unique character, both because of her importance to the One Piece universe and her development within the work. Her passion for knowledge and the participation of three essential people in her life will be the responsibles for your absurd resilience overcoming daily difficulties. When you live being pursued like a demon, you live in fear and loneliness, and those become the main gears in your life. But fear is a broken gear, and loneliness is a gear alone, and nothing works properly broken, much less alone. But with other gears turning, they connect, become more active, more life. Loneliness gives way to company and acceptance, and fear is strength and security, allowing you to become emotionally involved with other people, be accepted in the world, and feel protected. Robin is introduced to us as a villain, someone powerful affiliated with a tyrant, Crocodile. At the time, we don't know anything about her, just that there is something nebulous around her. The truth behind the dark woman, the burning years that passed slowly, very slowly, while she fled and ran away, but did not abandon her dreams to read the read pornograph, or at least try not to abandon them. The first trace we saw of Nico Robin's personality and ring is when she refused to tell Crocodile the secrets of the ancient weapon hidden in the pornograph in Alabasta. There, it becomes clear that she doesn't care about helping others. She doesn't care. She only cares about learning about the lost century and finishing what was started by the scholars of Ohara. She doesn't care by her own words. She makes it clear that any counter purpose will not prosper. She is indifferent to the world, which is just a natural response to everything she's been through. The only thing she wants in life is to discover the truth, discover the history of the world, of the lost century, and for her, no matter which path takes her to it, despite this, when she believes that her last hope has been destroyed, our beloved Hercules just give up and decides to put an end to her own dream with the defeat of Crocodile. Well, she thought she simply got tired of life. A path she had found for her greatest desire was destroyed, and she could no longer continue being competent to no one who appeared in front of her. Was too much. Along with her dream, she also decided to abandon her life, letting fall into the ruins on top of her. She would have died there if one for the interference of a Santa Cara would save her from being crushed, forcing her to live her life and consequently her dreams. And since he had saved her, well, why not join that boy and share the responsibility of her future with him? This time she wouldn't be alone. This time she would have companions, nakamas, who sooner or later showed that the words spoken in her past were the purest truth, was planted in her heart by her only and best friend until that moment. Listen, Robin, you might be alone now, but one day we'll find others like you. The sea is too big, you will find them. You will have friends to protect you. No one in this world was born to live. That was the words of Jack Defoe. Since then, Robin's life has been pure suffering, with light trace of hope that grew with the straw hat. She takes advantage of what happens in the tribulation in her own way, and despite women usually playing a more mature role, Robin is not irritated by the childhood attitudes of her companions or by their mistakes. Robin just answers everything with a warm smile. She knows how cruel the world is. She won't be nervous or a little over little things. She'll live hell in person. She saw everyone dying in front of her eyes. She lost everything at a very young age. This shows us a very important facet of her. She's not afraid of basic things like monsters or cruel people. Doesn't matter. She's fearless. Just means that she knows what the real monsters are. What makes her a bit out of touch with very strange comments that seems like a bit of dark humor, even though it seems a very strange side to others. Robin's dark humor is an aspect that undoubtedly forms part of her character. It's very linked to knowledge, the truth, the facts, and the reality that she lives firsthand is brutal. So this dark behavior is justified by the traumas of her past. If we think about it, well, this is something clear since her first day with the Straw Hats, when Usopp turns to her and asks, "What is your specialty?" And she responds, "Murder," in the most natural way possible. This shocks the others, but for her, the simple fact. Robin's role for a long time was to be a mother, but now her role in the tripulation, according to Oda, can be compared to a mother. And what draws attention is how she cares for and pampers Chopper. It's curious because despite not taking the liberty to open up, she loved his cuteness. Remember how she hated us when Frankie had Chopper's little body? The same trait of cuteness happened when Kuma talks about his economy in Thrillback, and the moment she hears that the fruit of the Shibukai is the paw fruit, before anything else she thinks of the cod paws, a cute little thing, always keeping a straight face, without showing that she really feels for the others. They make us think that in the genuine way, she always has immature, even silly thoughts, very different from her what she appears. I believe this is a reflection of her past, a way of expressing part of her childhood that she unfortunately did not experience. This is something notable about the character because she puts limit when this situation is very comfortable. Robin puts history and knowledge above everything. She simply doesn't understand how there can be people so stupid to destroy legacies of the past. Treasures so precious that they are irreplaceable. With this material, we learn not only about the past, but also not to repeat the same mistakes in the future. This behavior for her is absolute millions. The following education and the depreciation research and study is taking a step back from humanity. This has to do with the destruction of Ohara. This love for history and hate for people who doesn't respect is something she learned from Professor Clover, who until the last minute was trying to understand why the atrocity was happening to their library. She learned from very young age that true value is not something concrete, it's abstract and not possible to take it away. The knowledge someone obtained, no one can take it. One of the greatest things once said, remember, people can take away everything from you except your knowledge. Admiration for history. We can take a look in her first ever fight as part of the Straw Hats. she's brutal. Robin, when it comes to combat, she's infamous and brutal. She has no problem in overpowering the enemy in any way. Her fight was against Yama, leader of Daniel's divine soldiers. She struck him face first into a tree with all her strength, making the impact arrows exploding his belly. She took the opportunity to break his fingers and send him over a cliff. She used her foot to project Yama's body to receive the direct impact from the ground, and then she breaks his back in the middle of the fall. And what Yama did to deserve all of that, he had to destroy artifacts of incalculable value, precious treasures. Importance cannot be measured. History cannot always repeat, but humans cannot return to the past. We cannot understand this. After this sentence, Lemon met his cruel fate. Skypia, that wasn't the only thing Robin showed us. Despite of being one of the most questionable arcs, the truth that Skypia was very necessary ground for the events of Nislopi. The saga that we learn about Robin's past with her being in the middle of this. But Skypia, it was prepare Robin's for the decision of her life, which prepares her to finally believe in others again. Robin saw the Straw Hat fight into the last drop of remnants to save the island, completely alien to them. She saw their willing to sacrifice herself, have her own life saved by Zoro, who at that point was the one that most distrusted her. At that moment, her relationship and admiration for the Straw Hat changed. Happens there because of the incredible determination. As a result of all of this, she can realize the true value of the people she was with. The later will be called her companions, her nakamas. After that, she sees how everyone do their best to catch up back when he was kidnapped by foxes, and with those things, she had her first glimpse of happiness in her life after the disaster of her childhood. Those people are different. She saw traces of freedom. She had fun. She made companions, friendship. She realized that life could finally be peaceful. She had developed a feeling of being part of all, of being not another member of the Straw Hats, a feeling that she had gave up according to herself. In the last 20 years, she had run and survived, running away from her past, no matter what circumstance. Since there was nothing to learn anywhere, all she had to do is to keep moving forward. There was nothing to protect because she has nothing to fight for. She was always willing to betray others for her own selfish reasons because that was how life taught her. But with the Straw Hats, for the first time, she built relationships in her life. She just couldn't do that to them. They made her relinquish the flame of what is true happiness, gave back a heart that she had lost, and propelled her again towards the future and dreams that she had abandoned once. She found people who believe in her, and before, phrases like, "have nowhere to go, I have nowhere to return," which was proof of her loneliness she had to endure. For 20 years after the destruction of Ohara, the Straw Hats were already starting to take over. She was starting to feel herself, but reality came back, knocking her door in Enies Lobby. Her terrible past left her without nothing except one thing. In One Piece, we have seen the theme of inherited will many times. We see people who, despite no longer being present in this world, continue to live in the spirit of the young. Robin has three important persons in her life before the downfall of Ohara. They left her their will, their mission that she wanted to carry out. Nico listened to her mother before separating from her. As a child of just 8 years old, she told her to leave. Leave, Robin. And so asked her to leave too, so that she could one day write Ohara's history for the whole world, to know what really happened there, and also to go to the sea and find her people, find the Straw Hats. Well, maybe not the Straw Hats, but he knew someone was out there for her. Professor Clover gave her the desire of understand and discover the history of the last century. Her curiosity and wanted to learn. He and his team of archaeologists turned Nico Robin, for a child who likes to read into archaeologists. That's why Robin saw herself as such a big crossroad in Annie's love, because giving up her life meant saving that of her friend. But it didn't just mean dying, it also meant abandoning and betraying the last wishes of her mother, her first friend, and Professor Clover. But life teaches many things and is full of the surprising. And depending on the way we deal with things, we are capable of many things, for what we really believe and for those we care. Robin's life was sinking her hopes, covering her biggest desire with fear. When Robin was finally beginning to see light, everything crashed. No longer confident of anything, she no longer knew what was her role in the world. Her existence was a crime. She was a living demon, a person who should not have survived. So why continue living if she continued with her nakamas who showed her that life can be light, and one of them from the world government would kill all of them. Robin found herself in a depressive state of absolute loneliness, completely lost in a world that considered her a demon. After all, the traumas of her past were too heavy to carry on her back, and to continue walking, too heavy to carry alone. Maybe she just needed friends. Her terrible past left her with now nothing except one thing: the dreams of the people she loved the most in life. Keeping her heart deep down, locked under pain and suffering. Life hit her into all dreams and desire was sucking into her core. A place covered by all the traumas of her childhood, but deep down there was something hidden by all her fear, judgment, and suffering. She couldn't rescue from that bottle of your heart alone, and then in the middle of the most terrible darkness comes the light, comes that something, that hope planted by Jagadi's soul in the heart of the user of the flower fruit blossoms, and from there the most beautiful fruit emerged, overcoming her traumas in the form of friendship. Very beautiful how this hope lasted so long in a person whose life was so painful and masked. How her mother's word for her to live back in this moment, in this most genuine way possible. Robin wants to live and puts her faith in Jagadi's soul words. That moment she had dreamed of so much had finally arrived. Robin wants to live, and wants to live with her companions, those friends who declared war in the same entity that hunted her like a demon. Her companions challenged the world government, those responsible for her greatest traumas, and if they did it for her, she also needed to do it for herself. She needs to want to live and keep going after her dreams. The reflection of this most absurd moment and the character is very clear, because despite having spent time with the Ohara, he had no trust in them. He was not trusted by everyone, which is why she called them by Mr. Big Nose Shooter, Mr. Navigator. She called them by their pronoun, Trimmer, adding her character a role in the game, which always created a respectful distance between her and the other. Well, everyone except Luffy, the only one who trusted her from the beginning. It was always called by name. After all, this man had saved her life in Alabasta, and she trusted him to continue pursuing her dream. But after Nabi, everything changed. The Straw Hat risked everything to save her, and so she began to trust them and call each one by their own name. Only after this adventure that she faced her past and dazzled a better future, she realized that no longer would have reasons to avoid creating bonds with people. She wouldn't have to live in fear of being betrayed or being abandoned. After all, she finally became emotionally involved with others again, finally feeling at peace, and this is undoubtedly one of the major steps in the character followed with the work. She didn't change her way, she remained mysterious, reserved, but small nuances of her behavior show how she has changed inside. She has become more open, she cares more about others, she has allowed herself to once more try and experience the world. One proof of the attention for her nakamas is the greatest than anything. Even her love for history was shown in when they met Rayleigh. in Sabaody. Robin had the opportunity to discover about the lost century and all the secrets of the world after she searched for her entire life. The reason why she has a bound on her hand since she's 8 years old. All the reasons right in front of her. A man capable of answering all the questions by which Ohara was destroyed, but she knew better. She knew she can learn out there in her own, but the journey and everything that would take her to there with her Nakama is more important, and the most important people in her past would not like her dreams to come through like that. After all, they also told her to live, and what is living if it's not dreaming and singing your own song? Living, dreaming and dancing your own dance, creating in your heart, enjoying the journey, trusting that no matter what happens, everything will be fine. Living and dreaming is creating your own adventure. Living life alongside her companions, achieving their dreams together, and gradually, this is what is most valuable to her today. If Robin knew the whole truth, she would not have any reason to continue travel, and it is precisely these journeys that allow her to live again. And if this adventure is what allowed her to live, accept the truth really was once again giving up her own life. And after all, as far Robin's knowledge goes, she knows how to read the poneglyphs. Acquiring knowledge from a very young age, she must know some quick secrets thanks to her passing on Ohara, and also she spent 2 years with Luffy's their army, where probably had access to a wide range of confidential information. The great truth is that she has a lot of knowledge and potential, much more than the Navy gives her potential for, and as a bounty on her head. All of this makes Robin a very powerful weapon, a treasure that must be carefully guarded, and why not love? She is the key character for the future of One Piece, undoubtedly one of the most important in the world, and for that word, the mind capable of the translator to us the secrets of the lost century and leading the world towards the long-awaited dawn. Robin is the key that threatens the entire power system of the world government. The only person in the world who can bring disorder and chaos to this order that was built over the last 900 years. It is not strange that she is considered the devil of this universe, the person capable of breaking out the gears. On the other hand, she is the light of the revolution, the angel, something extremely appreciated for a character who will someday change everything thanks to her knowledge. But for now, Robin joined her journey. As Jagger saw promised, no one was born in this world to be alone, so dream and live with your companions. The greatest lesson we can learn from this character is, regardless of how painful it is, how dark the path seems, it's not worth your life. Tomorrow, this loneliness will end, and just like her friend promised, you will find friends. No one born in this world to be alone. Tomorrow will have a new dawn for you, for the world, and for your life. Thank you, everyone.